Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. A few things before I start this video. I apologize if you hear any random dogs barking, like right now, because for some reason some of my dogs and some of the neighbors' dogs are acting up, so bear with me. But as long as you can hear me, it's totally fine. It's not gonna be the same type of videos I do regularly. Today I'm gonna be talking about my coming out story. It's something I've wanted to talk about on my channel for probably since I started this channel. I just want to shed light on a few things when I tell my story, because some of the things that I want to highlight are some of the lessons and a lot of the perspective that people take from this. Like, I want to give a lot of people a lot of perspective when I tell this story to you guys. So I hope you guys are ready to listen. I actually knew, like, way before that I was already gay. I guess the earliest age I can recall was when I was 4. It was that young. Usually people say, oh, you start thinking or having your own thoughts when you reach the age of reason, which is around 7 years old. That's when you start formulating a lot of your own thoughts. But I can recall as early as 4 years old that I was already gay. But I didn't call it gay. I just didn't know what those kind of feelings were. It was just within me. And I didn't know how to express it properly because I was a kid. But as a kid, you were naturally curious, so I poked around a lot and tried to figure out what it was on my own. But to no avail. I never found out what it was, so I just kept it to myself. Growing up, I think because of the fact that I had to keep it within me, I needed to find an outlet. So my outlet was performing. When I was when I was in kindergarten, I could recall a lot of things. I would always join all the extracurricular activities, and because of that, I had so much confidence in myself as a kid. You had no idea. I would join the choir. I would always host events. I would MC. I would tend to people. I would be the first one to show the things I wanted to show and show and tell. I was a very expressive kid when I was younger, and I think that was the outlet that made me happy during that time, because I was able to express myself fully, even till my younger years of grade school. But sadly, my confidence started dwindling, and I don't know I honestly would love to give you an answer, but I don't know what happened. The best answer I could give you guys is probably because I started realizing what it was. I already started knowing what these feelings were, and on top of that, it was the feelings that I was feeling were being told that it was wrong. I mean, it's a given. I grew up in a very Catholic household, in a Catholic and traditional country, and it was bound to happen where I was gonna be told, oh, you can't be this or you can't be that. And it was really heartbreaking, because I knew deep in myself that I was exactly the opposite of what they were trying to make me do. Because growing up in school, they taught you, oh, the norm was to be with a woman, or for a girl to be with a guy and have a family and have kids. And even until college, that's what we were taught. But that's how it is as a Catholic country in a very traditional setting. But I knew deep inside that I wasn't that way. But even then, I forced myself so hard to try to be who I wasn't. You had no idea. I probably did a lot of things. Like, I forced myself to like girls as early as kindergarten. I try to force myself to like just like girls, but I couldn't do it. It was so hard for me to find an attraction towards a girl. And I only did it because of a lot of reasons. Because, for one thing, my mom, like any mother, she caught on really quick. She started noticing a lot of mannerisms I was adapting. I flaunted a lot of myself, and she caught on that, and she told me not to do it, to the point where we were in the guest room, or not the guest room, the family room, and she bluntly asked me, "Hey Jake, are you gay?" My heart dropped because I didn't know what to tell her, but I had to fess up, and I said, "Yes, I am." And through that point, I guess that's also partly the reason why I started losing confidence, because she was super in denial and couldn't accept it at first, and I totally understand why. If you were a mother in an Asian household, and in a very Catholic and traditional setting, obviously it's going to take a toll on a lot of people, so I completely understood why. So, and we were still close. It was just that one aspect that maybe had us drifting apart for a while. And on top of that, like I said earlier, I started losing confidence. In grade school, I wasn't the kid I was when I was in kindergarten. I was always in the background then. I would never answer in class. I would tend to not join performances anymore, or extracurricular activities, even though I wanted to, and it made me sad because I couldn't. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. It eventually got worse. I guess high school was probably one of my all-time lows. It truly tested me as a person. I was bullied in high school for a lot of different things. For my weight, for the way I looked. But the one thing that probably hurt the most was because of my sexuality. When I was in high school, I was still figuring things out. I was still even forcing myself to not be who I was. But even then, I could recall a moment when, I'm not gonna name names, but I remember a guy from my class. I was trying to call my mom through on the payphone, and he just stood there and was like, "Hey, Jake, ano ba? Why can't you just come out already? I thought you said you were loud and proud about it." He was really pushing it, and I don't know, I think I just lost it. And from that point on, it made me do a lot of things I regret. I eventually went through a dark patch in my life. It made me do things I regretted. And a lot of people knew what these things were. And unfortunately, a lot of them still think that I still am that same person, but to each in their own. I know for a fact that I'm no longer that person. I'm sorry if I hurt anyone back in high school because of the dark path I took, but I'm no longer that person anymore. And people back in high school can still think that, but I firmly believe in myself that I'm not that same person anymore. So that happened, and my confidence was still low, but miraculously, I graduated high school, and I was gonna start college soon, and it was a new slate. So I told myself, okay, this is your time to redeem yourself and show people the Jake that you want to show. It was still hard though, because this school I enrolled to was still pretty traditional and very Catholic school, where we followed a lot of we follow a lot of Catholic teachings and traditional values. And in me, I don't think anyone disrespected in any way. So I decided to keep it within myself. But so hard to, I decided to slowly but surely show everyone who the real Jake was in college. I started showcasing my personality, like how sassy of a person I am. I started making new friends and doing it my way. I already stopped being in when I hit college. I already stopped being the person I people want me to be, and I started being the person that I wanted to be. There were still things that held me back, but I was super happy with myself that I was able to overcome that and just be myself. So, like I said, confidence started coming back, and I was able to express myself to the point where I started joining extracurricular activities again. I joined the dance group, I joined the theater group, I ended up becoming an officer in the organizations I've been in, and I felt like, okay, slowly but surely I'm getting myself back up, and I'm being it's really I'm just happy because this hasn't happened in a while. But there were still a lot of things that kept me unsettled. I felt like I was hiding a lot of myself to a lot of people, so I finally decided to come out to some of my family members, starting first and foremost with my mother, because I wanted my mom to know that I'm not the perfect son that she wanted, but this is who I am, and the things that you want from me is not what I want. I want you to know that. I want you to be proud of the man and the boy that you raised. So I told her everything, from how I felt, from the way she acts, and how it affects me. And she took it hard for a while, but eventually she came around, and that's probably one of the best things that has ever happened to my life, because that doesn't come very often, where someone just decides to finally come around and finally love and respect what you do and be who you are. So from being so in denial to becoming my number one fan, my mom and I right now are probably really close, and we're the best of friends. We'll still fight, but you know what family doesn't? And it started coming out of me. I started coming out to a lot more people. I started with my two sisters, then I came out to a few other family members and a few friends, and I just started being me. Because what I realized was the reason why I was so unconfident with myself, I was not confident with myself, or I was super unsure of myself, was because I didn't take matters into my own hands. I just decided to go with the flow and treat everything like it should be treated, or just go with the flow and wait for things to happen to you. But I didn't want that for myself. I wanted to do the things that I wanted to do, and I wanted to take control of my life and my destiny. And as corny as it sounds, or as cheesy as it sounds, I had to do that. So what happened when I did that? I came out. I made a long Facebook post about me coming out, and I was showered with immense love and support by all my friends and family. That doesn't happen very often, and I'm very lucky and blessed to have such amazing friends and family. What also happened? I stopped trying trying to let things happen and took matters into my own hands. I finally have a good job. I started my YouTube channel. I graduated college. Not a lot of people can say that you do all these things. And I'm out in who I am. I'm the person I am. I am the person I should be. And I couldn't be happier. It's been a rough road when I came out. I thought that I was gonna be alone with this, but life just likes to surprise you a lot. I have more than enough friends, more than enough love, more than enough memories to share with everyone, and that's partly why I'm doing it with you guys on YouTube. Some of the main takeaways I want everyone to realize when I tell this story is, number one, taking matters into your own hands. If you want to do something, always do it for you, and never wait for anything. Never wait for anything to make something happen. If you want something to happen, you have to do it on your own. I was able to do it. I've done a lot, and I'm proud of myself because I did it. And I did it for myself. And no other person can do that. Another thing that I want to shed light on is even the toughest of people can change. For example, like my mother. She came from being super in denial, from always trying to tell me that it's just a phase, from telling me that people can change, to being my number one fan, to being the best mother she can be towards me, to being the best human being possible. She supports me in everything I do, and though we butt heads a lot, she's still my mother and I love her very much. And she accepts everything about me, who I am as a person and what I want to do. And the last thing, for anyone watching out there, do things when you're ready. When I came out, it took me a while. It took me 15 long years for me to come out and just be who I am as a person. But the good thing about holding that in and waiting is being mentally prepared, because you don't come out for anyone but for yourself. You know, it sounds as selfish as it sounds. You're not put on this world to please anyone. You're here to do this because you want to do it. You have to make your own path and you have to make your own destiny. And that's exactly what I did. And this goes out for anyone, not just any LGBT person out there. You do anything when you're ready. Never let anyone decide when you want to come out, or when you want to do a certain thing, or when you want to just do something. So that's it. It's a pretty long video, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you a lot of perspective about just a normal human being. So that's it for today's video. See you guys soon. Bye.